Alright, so normally I would say being a backyard beekeeper is not a whole lot of work. Well, this year has been an exception. This colony came out strong. This colony did not produce a queen, nor this one, nor this one. So I started spring with 5 colonies. I currently have this colony that survived all winter, survived the swarm season. This colony that survived all winter didn't survive swarm season, so it produced no queen. And these 2 colonies that both survived winter but didn't survive swarm season, no queen on them. So I requeened these 2. Both failed because they got heavily infested with wax moths, even though they were, I felt they were strong enough to requeen. Moths have been a problem in general this year in the plains states. So this one was a colony that I got from somebody else that was queenless. Made a video adding the queen. They took her immediately because they had been queenless. I left her in a cage for a clip for maybe an hour, released her in. They're doing great. This one was I had to scrap all frames, start over with only salvaging about a frame and a half of drawn comb and a frame and a half of bees remaining. They're struggling still. They're being robbed. I have a feeder in the top. It looks like a second brood box, a deep on top, but it's empty with just a feeder. I struggled with a boardsman in the front. They were being robbed, and they're still being robbed. So I'm going to take a frame from this colony that is ridiculously strong. Both supers are already full. I'll probably add a third super and add it to this colony and hope that they will kickstart them. Their morale is low. They seem to just be biding their time. Last time I checked, the queen hadn't even laid any eggs, so we'll see. This colony was a merger of a swarm I caught with a big colony that had no queen. So I removed the brood box from the queenless colony, moved them into these 2 supers, and you can still see a little bit of paper. I moved the swarm that was really strong and vibrant into a deep here and added this super, or these 2 supers separated by newspaper. And there was a little bit of fighting, a little bit of bickering, but they ended up merging into a very big, strong colony. So that was a success. This was a success. This queen has been taken. This colony will survive. This is just an invincible colony, it seems. They came through everything great. This is my project. So since I have whatever, $42 and a queen here, I'm going to try to save this colony by adding a frame of brood in various stages to it and see if we can kickstart them a little bit. See ya. So, as you can see, we ran into an unfortunate change of plans. After digging into this to see if it was even going to work to add a frame of brood, there aren't enough bees in there to be safe. So, called a friend of mine to see if he had a colony that could take a queen. He didn't have any queenless colonies. I didn't know anybody with queenless colonies. I considered putting it up on a local Facebook group, but instead decided to go ahead and take a frame from here. A friend of mine came over to help. We went through this, found, luckily, 2 frames in, found the queen, so caged her, moved her aside, and then found the 3rd frame was almost exclusively capped brood. So ended up taking that frame of capped brood and all of the bees on it, took them to this colony here, the one that we're trying to save. This is a an interesting volunteer garden of tomatoes. So, but ended up moving an entire frame of capped brood into here. Left all of the existing bees, caged the queen, and added the queen in the cage with probably 10 or 15 of her daughters, and left them in the cage. So we're going to leave this for 2 days. It's completely sealed. The top has, not sealed, I mean, so I built out of hardware cloth, and I took a regular excluder and just used hardware cloth so they can continue to be vented. Sealed up the upper entrance, and then I have my attic on it. So they're not sealed, but so they get plenty of air, but they can't get in or out. Has a quart of sugar water and about a quarter cup of artificial pollen up here. Going to leave them for a couple of days. Let the scents all mingle and then see how they reacted. They weren't at all hostile towards the queen initially, but that could change. So hopefully all of her daughters will keep her safe. She will acclimate and we'll save this colony. We'll post an update. See ya.